huge surge of, oh my God, there's a whole planet that has been under my nose. I had a lot of panic attacks, just one after another, after another. But after a while, I just get numb to it all. I'm like, okay, well, there's going to be a lot of shocking things that are going to happen in here.
Yeah. Good things.
Yeah. Well, at first, it's just scary. It's like, oh my gosh, do you understand what power you have under your hands? Yeah.
Very cool. So you're realizing these things, and what's your goal while you're in school in SCAD?
Just to keep up, because there were students there who came from schools that use those programs, which blew my mind. That there were people being taught that at a young age, and that I was so far behind that even when it came to sending an email, I was struggling and that kind of stuff. That should have been basic. My professors weren't that sympathetic to it because, they're in the industry, they're doing like this and that, they're keeping up. Before I was born, they're using all these high-tech programs, and then I come in like a country bumpkin, never even heard of them or known that this technology existed, or that I even should look for animation programs, because I know what animation programs are. They're a scanner and a piece of paper, and that's how even Shrek is made like that. In my head, I just come up with they're just super talented.
What are the programs that you're supposed to use?
Oh, well, we learned Maya and Illustrator, Flash. I don't remember the other programs, but we use those, most of those programs.
So I've never been to school for art. I have illusions about it and theories. It mostly comes from watching TV or hearing other artists' stories.
I have never seen something in the media that was like what I experienced.
Right. So I guess my ideas are not that realistic. But I walked into art schools, Art Institute, and SCAD. I walked around. What is it that what I have? My theories are that you're given a lot of assignments, and your grades are based on deadlines and completing assignments or learning a craft or doing something, and but that's not necessarily your career after the school. So what were your plans? So do you have a plan for learning the things you needed to learn in school in order to be a professional artist? And how did you follow any of that?
I don't think I thought to be a professional artist. I just thought to survive, because we did have our grades based on the deadlines and the assignment that were given, but also mixed in your competition with the other students. And you have students who've learned stuff in their school when they're in high school, and then you're working with professionals who are in the industry just getting their degree. And you're against all of it, just like the real world. If you were competing for a job, you'd be competing against the newbie and the veteran. So I just knew I had to get my act together. I think about Walt Disney and how he was a country bumpkin, and look at him. So it's like when he got into the industry, people already knew things, and he had to catch up really fast. And he made it. I can at least, be decent at this. Yeah. So I would just stay with the programs, hang around people who look like they're serious, and just keep playing around. And if I felt like I wasn't getting something, plead with a professor to spend a little bit more time with me. Can I just have an extra few minutes? I'll buy you some food to eat, or if you need help with this or something like that. Yeah. And other students, there are tutorial sessions that go on at school, and you just sign up for it. You ask everyone for help. Ask the career people, the counseling people, everyone.
You gotta want it.
You do. Because
go after it.
Your family is counting on you. I was the first person to attend a university. My school, also first-generation American. Everyone's standing there like, what's going to happen? And if you fall back, if you slump, they'll just say, oh, well, this family, isn't doing so well. And it'll really bring down my parents and my siblings who look up to me. even though I have an older brother, I can tell he looks up to me.
Uh-huh.
We'll be really saddened because they know how far they can go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so what happened? What happened? You finished school? You got good grades? You got amazing grades?
Good, amazing grades. Hanged out with people who got amazing grades. I hung out with this, my trio. This is my posse.
Uh-huh.
We were hardcore about grades.
Okay.
We would stay up, be studying like crazy. I remember once I was falling asleep, and you can tell you have a best friend when she makes sure that you stay up for an exam. I remember she slapped me right across my face.
What?
Yep, it was amazing.
During the test?
No, during the study session.
Okay.
It was like 4 a.m.
Wow.
And I started to do this, and she went, pow!
Wow.
And I was like, and I had so much adrenaline pumping through me.
Right after that.
No problem staying awake. I stayed up for another 2 hours. We finished studying. Midday on the next exam. We were I'm like, this girl is great. That's friendship right there.
Wow, that's very good. Okay, so you finished school, and then what happens? Did you find an animation job somewhere?
You know, when I was in school and competing with the other students, I really got a feel for where I stood in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't looking so good.
Right.
I knew by my second year, which is when you really start the classes, that my creativity was lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And my technical knowledge was lacking. People were grasping things so much faster. It's like when you already know something about the internet and a new software comes out or a new app comes out, like Facebook or something, you're able to navigate really fast. But if you haven't touched it, you're learning from the ground, you're learning the concepts of even the thinking of the program. So I thought, how can I still make it without all the technical skills, without all being super talented? And I thought networking, because a lot of times people will hire you if you have a good work ethic, if you can at least get the job done. Maybe you're not the best, but you could get it done. You'll stay late. You're not going to charge them extra for it because you're behind on people's education or whatever. And you're friendly to interact with. Just be enjoyable.
Pleasant.
Yeah. I don't have all the skills that most people leave with, but I do have other skills that they don't leave with. So try to play to my strengths. I joined a lot of clubs. I was the president of the ASIFA-Atlanta Animation Society, which was one of the best moves I made, because then people start seeing you differently when you have a title. Even though nothing's changed with my portfolio, they start interacting with you nicely and just respecting you more and giving you opportunities that they probably wouldn't have given you if you didn't have that title. Right. Before I graduated, I got offered to study to be the president of ASIFA-Atlanta.
What's ASIFA-Atlanta?
ASIFA. Right now, it's the largest animation society in the southeast of the United States.
Wow.
When I started, it was a smaller organization for Atlanta. The main ASIFA is in France, and then all over the world, chapters have branched out. And there's an Atlanta chapter. Brett Thompson was the president, and I was working with him to study to be the president when he left. But he only offered that because I was already with the animation organization at SCAD, and I had prior experience running an animation organization. We started working together. I decided not to do the presidency, but to stay vice. And that was great because I got to meet other people. You go to studios that you wouldn't normally be able to just walk in the front door and hang out with people. You meet artists who want to talk to you because you're part of an organization versus you going up and trying to get your way in to talk to people. When you're doing screenings or doing workshops, that kind of stuff, people are coming to you instead of you going to them. And that whole psychology just really changes up your opportunities. It took me some time to narrow down an animation job in Atlanta. But when I did, it was through ASIFA because the husband of one of the people that I work with is the one who hired me. And if I weren't in ASIFA, he wouldn't even know who I was. And if I didn't have a title, he probably wouldn't be speaking to me. It didn't take much to run an organization or even to be in one, because you just really need to have drive and determination too.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
I mean, you don't have to know like what all the formulas are. You don't have to like have experience in effects or anything. You just have to have passion and drive, and you can be in an organization. You can even run an organization. You have enough drive and enough connections.
Enough rocket power.
Yeah, all you have to do is make people like you and, and stuff. And wow, those are skills that I could put forward and get in through the side door, as they say. And I started at Floyd County Productions on Archer.
Okay.
As
Very
a flapper.
What is a flapper?
Flapper is a lip syncer who does really limited animation. So I studied traditionally.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna assume that the flapper, when you say lips, you're doing all the lip movements on the characters, according to the voice.
Yes.
That's been recorded or something. Okay.
I started traditionally animating,
Uh,
and I enjoyed lip syncing, and I would like get it down where it's like really enunciating, where it's saying it. And when I was in school, I remember taking extra sessions about lip sync because I just am intrigued about people's mouths. I learned to read lips when I was in middle school,
what?
so I could stay up late and sneak and watch TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that came in handy.
It came in really handy.
What?
By my parents setting such a strict curfew, they like groomed me to be a great lip syncer.
Wow. So wait a minute. So okay. So you're doing this stuff for Archer because that's one of my favorite cartoons. Or I don't know what you call it, animations.
Same thing.
Cartoons. It's very Illustrator style looking. I don't know how
it is illustrated in Illustrator.
Okay. And so then there's an animator who does the mouth, and that's brought into the character's movements, and it's kind of combined with magic.
So
spells.
the models we have, real life models, come in. They may do action poses. They may do an action. So we may do a video of it, but we take pictures and record them. Give that information to the illustrators, who will then rotoscope right over it and choose the frames, and they'll tweak it based on the style of the show. And then they'll hand it over to the animators, and we'll get it, and then we'll rig the characters, make sure all the bones and stuff move where they need to. And based on the animatic that we get, we'll just go ahead and do the scene. And with the flapping, or lip sync, I'll get the animatic, so I know which direction the head's in, so I know to use the right direction for the head, and get the audio on it, and I'll get the characters' heads, and I'll start keying in what like mouth shapes they're going to be doing
to represent the sound that's coming out. Dang.
Then I take only the data from it, so it when the next side of the team gets it, we're all on the same team. When the next person gets it, it's just like a bunch of numbers. And then they paste that into their character, and then that translates to everything the character needs to be saying.
Wow. Feels like a lot of hard work.
You know what? It's very intuitive.
Yeah.
I write manuals for Archer.
Okay.
And I started my first one on lip syncing. Every time I learn something, I write a manual for it. But I started on lip syncing, and it's really evolved into this big document because you really need to develop your sense of humanity. How do people talk? And in certain situations, it's not what mouth shape do you use for this sound. It's if you were faced with saying this at this accent at this speed, then which one would you use?
Yeah. And then different people have different draws and different
Mm-hmm.
tempos of speaking.
You have to choose for that character, and we're doing it all on twos. So you really need to be careful with what you choose because you don't have a lot of frames to use.
Wow. So this manuals, are they available to the public, or is it something private?
It's private in the company right now. Maybe they will be more public. I know some of the storyboard stuff is already public.
Really?
So maybe they'll branch out to